Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our EVO session 2022. So our session is about language teacher agency in classrooms. Grace, Jingyi, and I were the moderators of this session. So we had around 30 participants who registered in the first week. They were all from different teaching contexts, but mainly EFL contexts like Indonesia, India, China, Nepal, Brazil, Yemen, and Italy. A relatively small number of attendees participated in our weekly discussion board on Canvas, which is the learning management system that we used for our session. We also had our optional live sessions on Saturday mornings via Zoom. We had 5 general objectives for our EVO session. We wanted to help participants develop a better understanding of language teacher agency and its influencing factors, help them reflect upon the factors influencing their instructional practices and decision-making in classrooms. Our participants also apply their agency in their current and future teaching, develop tools or strategies to build a supportive community to enhance their agency. And at last, we all shared the agency in teaching with other participants in this community of online practice in EVO. In each week, we covered different topics and developed different reading materials for the participants related to teacher agency and language teacher agency. As you can see here in these weekly topics and the task schedule. We started with conceptualizations of teacher agency, and then we moved to the more practical and reflective aspects of the concept. We also invited our participants to apply the concept to their own teaching context. Specifically as activities, we shared multiple cases regarding teacher agency with our participants, and we invited them to identify problems in their current teaching context. We discussed how to enact agency when we had issues like large class size, lack of digital resources, and student motivation. And as a community, we brainstormed potential solutions to solve those problems. In the next couple of slides, Jingyi will introduce more in depth about our session outcomes.
There are mainly 2 spaces where our participants joined the conversations around LTA, live meeting on Zoom, and the discussion board on Canvas. We would like to showcase some highlights of our participants' engagement and some outcomes. Each week, we met with our participants for 1 hour on Zoom. One of the Zoom activities is group discussion, where participants shared their experiences of LTA in their own teaching contexts, posed concerns and questions for further discussions, and gained insights from each other's teaching stories. We, as session moderators, were able to interact with each participant and shared our experience in a meaningful way. We had one particular topic each week. For instance, in week 2, our participants were introduced with some cases and shared their analysis and reflections on factors that shape LTA. Particularly, they observed the actions the focal teachers took in the cases and how various factors led to their decision-making and influenced their LTA. From week 3 to week 5, our participants shared thoughts and reflections on LTA oriented in the past, present, and future dimensions, making closer connections with their own teaching contexts. For instance, in week 3, they read some reflections discussing the internal and external constraints and affordances, and how the focal teachers agentively responded in their situated contexts. Each participant was also able to use the opportunity to reflect and share a memory that they experienced or did not enact agency in their previous teaching. In week 4, the participants joined an idea workshop focusing on some actionable plans. Each of them identified one most urgent issue in their current classrooms. Some issues raised in the discussion include how to manage a large size class, how to motivate students to read English, and how to address the issue of limited technology use in classrooms. Following that, they responded to each issue by providing some possible solutions for other colleagues. Based on the ideas received, each participant summarized the strategies that may be applicable to their classrooms. The discussion board is another space where our participants expressed their ideas and questions freely and responded to each other with constructive feedback. They shared insightful quotes relating to their teaching experiences and reflections on LTA in their contexts. In addition, they posed thoughtful questions that addressed issues that emerged in their teaching and factors surrounding teaching, such as policies, parent engagement, etc. Finally, they also re-examined their teaching goals. As moderators, we responded to our participants with our knowledge and experience and felt grateful to witness how deeper critical thinking and new ideas informed and emerged through the discussions among the participants.
Our discussions in both asynchronous platforms and synchronous live meetings touched upon the need for more future research on language teacher agency, specifically within the field of TESOL education. Several of our participating teachers and educators showed interest in conducting research on language teacher agency in their own teaching context, and they shared some potential topics to examine in future research studies. We were also reminded that many research studies were conducted predominantly in Western context, and we need more in-depth studies that represent the teaching experiences in other contexts around the world. Such discussion also increased our awareness of the importance of connecting teaching and research in both our practices and through professional development opportunities. As teacher researchers, we have the privilege to shorten the distance between research and teaching and make intentional efforts to bridge the two so that our teaching can be informed by research and that our research studies examine the questions that arose from our teaching practices. We also call for more professional development sessions for TESOL educators, both locally and globally. Many teachers share their appreciation for having this opportunity to learn about the concept of language teacher agency through this EVO session, and they share their interest for more professional development sessions and opportunities like this in the future. Lastly, we would like to end our presentation today by highlighting the need for and importance of collaboration among TESOL educators at both local and international levels. At a local level, this can be by partnering with different educational organizations. At an international level, there are increased opportunities for collaboration through online platforms. We call for continued effort for such collaboration to further advance our work on language teacher agency in the field of TESOL. Thank you so much for your interest, for listening to our presentation today, and we welcome your questions and comments. Thank you.